The Murdaugh family, once a legal dynasty in South Carolina's Low Country, saw their world collapse in scandal and murder. For generations, their influence stretched across courtrooms, police departments, and small-town politics, making them nearly untouchable in the eyes of many. For a century, their name meant power and privilege, until Alex Murdaugh's double homicide trial gripped the nation. The family's legacy, once built on justice and tradition, was now overshadowed by suspicion and betrayal. The case had all the makings of a Southern Gothic, a prominent family, dark secrets, financial ruin, and a community left reeling from the shockwaves. The Murdaugh's stately home, once a symbol of their status, became the backdrop for a chilling tragedy. And a brutal crime on their estate shattered the illusion of safety and respectability that had surrounded them for decades. Each day brought new revelations, multi-million-dollar schemes, opioid addiction, and a tangled web of lies that seemed to grow more complex with every witness. And then, a bizarre roadside shooting added another layer of mystery, leaving investigators and the public alike questioning what was real and what was staged. The trial became must-see TV, pitting a fallen titan against the very legal system his family once ruled. Every testimony, every cross-examination was broadcast to a nation hungry for answers. It was more than a murder trial. It was the unraveling of a dynasty, a public reckoning for decades of unchecked power and privilege. The public scrutinized every detail, from a crucial Snapchat video that placed Alex at the scene, to testimony about financial misdeeds that revealed a pattern of deception stretching back years. The story exposed the darkness behind wealth and respectability, showing how even the most powerful families can harbor secrets capable of destroying everything. Media coverage turned the case into a national obsession, with documentaries and news dissecting every twist, every rumor, and every courtroom outburst. The world watched as the drama unfolded in real time. The rural setting, reeling from the downfall of its most powerful family, only deepened the intrigue. Neighbors whispered, and the community struggled to reconcile the Murdaughs they thought they knew with the headlines they now read. This wasn't just about guilt or innocence, it was about exposing the secrets beneath a powerful facade, and about the search for truth in a place where loyalty once meant silence. The world watched, waiting to see if justice would finally reach the Low Country, and if the scales would tip against a name that once seemed untouchable. The Murdaugh trial became a symbol. No one, no matter how powerful, is above the law. It was a reminder that justice, though sometimes slow, can reach even the highest towers. And as the courtroom drama unfolded, the nation held its breath, waiting for a verdict that would echo far beyond the Low Country and into the heart of American justice. In March 2023, after a dramatic 6-week trial that gripped the nation, the jury took less than 3 hours to find Alex Murdaugh guilty of murdering his wife Maggie and son Paul. The speed of their decision spoke volumes about the strength of the evidence and the impact of the prosecution's case. The verdict sent shockwaves through the courtroom and across the country. Reporters scrambled to break the news, and the public watched in disbelief as the once powerful Murdaugh family name was forever tarnished. Once a respected attorney and pillar of his community, Murdaugh was now a convicted double murderer, his reputation shattered in an instant. Prosecutors argued he killed to distract from his looming financial crimes, painting a picture of a man desperate to hide his secrets. A crucial video from Paul's phone placed Alex at the scene just moments before the murders, contradicting his own statements. That single video shattered his alibi and became the prosecution's linchpin, a piece of digital evidence that would haunt Murdaugh throughout the trial. The next day, Judge Clifton Newman delivered a stern sentence, condemning Murdaugh to 2 consecutive life terms, without the possibility of parole. The courtroom was silent as the weight of the punishment settled in. The clang of the prison door marked the end of a century-old legal dynasty, a family that had once wielded immense power in the Low Country now brought to its knees. For many, the verdict brought closure and a sense that justice had finally been served. Tears of relief and sorrow mingled in the gallery as families embraced, grateful for accountability at last. The community could begin to heal, and the victims' families saw accountability. Vigils were held, and neighbors came together, united by a shared sense of loss and hope for a better future. But in the world of law, a guilty verdict is rarely the end. Appeals and legal maneuvers often follow, keeping wounds open and questions lingering. Murdaugh's legal battle was just beginning. His defense team immediately began preparing for the next phase, determined to challenge the outcome. Appeals loomed and the story was far from over. The legal process promised to stretch on for months, if not years. The case had become a test of the justice system itself, raising questions about power, privilege, and accountability in America. Would the conviction stand, or would new revelations upend everything? Investigators and journalists continued to dig, searching for answers that might change the course of the case. The next chapter was about to unfold, and the world would be watching every step of the way. Even as Murdaugh began his life sentence, his defense team launched a two-pronged appeal. Led by Dick Harpootlian and Jim Griffin, they challenged the conviction on two fronts. The first appeal targets alleged legal errors, especially the judge's decision to allow evidence of Murdaugh's financial crimes. The defense claims this prejudiced the jury and will argue the trial was unfair. The second, more explosive appeal centers on jury tampering allegations against Colleton County Clerk of Court Rebecca Hill. The defense accuses Hill of making improper comments to jurors, threatening the integrity of the verdict. Both appeals will be heard together by the South Carolina Supreme Court in 2026. The justices must decide. Was the trial fair, and was the jury's deliberation compromised? The outcome could reshape not just Murdaugh's fate, but legal precedent in South Carolina. The stakes are enormous, and the nation is watching. The future of the Murdaugh case now rests with the state's highest court. Rebecca "Becky" Hill, once a background figure as Colleton County Clerk of Court, was known for her steady presence behind the scenes, quietly managing the paperwork and logistics that kept the courthouse running smoothly. But during the high-profile Murdaugh trial, she was thrust into the center of a national media storm, her role suddenly magnified as the world watched Colleton County. After the trial concluded, Hill co-authored a book about her experience, offering a rare insider's perspective on the proceedings and the intense scrutiny that surrounded the case. This move thrust her even further into the spotlight, as she became a sought-after figure for interviews and public appearances. However, her newfound fame soon brought intense scrutiny, leading to a state investigation and criminal charges unrelated to the jury, charges that would change her life forever. Hill was accused of using her office for personal gain, blurring the lines between her official duties and her own interests. She was also found to have shown sealed court photos to a reporter and to have lied under oath, serious breaches of trust for any court official. Ultimately, Hill pleaded guilty to obstruction of justice, perjury, and misconduct in office, admitting to actions that undermined the integrity of the court. For these offenses, she received a year of probation, narrowly avoiding jail time but facing lasting consequences for her career and reputation. The judge made it clear that her sentence would have been much harsher if jury tampering had been proven, highlighting the gravity of the allegations. Despite avoiding prison, Hill's credibility was destroyed, leaving her professional future in doubt and her reputation in tatters. For Murdaugh's defense team, Hill's conviction is now a critical piece of their strategy as they seek a new trial. They argue that her willingness to lie under oath cast doubt on her denials about influencing the jury, raising questions about the fairness of the original trial. The court clerk who once managed the trial is now the defense's key to a possible new one, her actions central to the ongoing legal battle. Rebecca Hill's dramatic downfall has become a pivotal twist in the Murdaugh legal drama, ensuring her name will be remembered in this case for years to come. The heart of Murdaugh's appeal is the claim that Rebecca Hill tampered with the jury. The defense alleges Hill made improper comments to jurors, urging them to distrust the defense and watch Murdaugh's demeanor for signs of guilt. Some jurors say she pressured them to reach a quick verdict, even inventing stories to sway their decision. A special hearing brought conflicting testimony. Some jurors supported the claims, others denied any influence. Hill admitted to some inappropriate interactions, but denied trying to sway the verdict. Judge Jean Toll ruled that while Hill's actions were improper, the defense failed to prove her comments directly influenced the jury's decision. The verdict, Toll said, was based on evidence, not outside influence. The ruling was a setback for the defense, but the fight moved to the Supreme Court. The question of jury tampering remains at the case's core. Judge Toll's ruling raised a crucial legal question. What must be proven to win a new trial for jury tampering? Toll required proof that Hill's comments actually prejudiced the jury. Murdaugh's defense argues that's the wrong standard. They say it's enough to show improper communications that could have reasonably influenced a juror, regardless of actual impact. Proving a juror's state of mind is nearly impossible, they contend. The defense insists the mere risk of influence taints the process and warrants a new trial. The Supreme Court must now decide, is potential influence enough, or must actual prejudice be shown? Their decision will set a precedent for future jury tampering cases in South Carolina. The stakes for due process and fair trials couldn't be higher. Murdaugh's defense team is cautiously optimistic as they prepare for the Supreme Court appeal. Their case hinges on showing the original trial was tainted by legal errors and Hill's misconduct. Hill's guilty plea for perjury and obstruction gives the defense powerful ammunition. They argue her actions created a circus-like atmosphere, undermining the trial's fairness. The defense will focus on the risk of prejudice, not just actual influence. Their goal: convince the court that the process was too compromised to let the verdict stand. They're not re-arguing guilt or innocence, just the right to a fair trial. The outcome could redefine standards for courtroom integrity in South Carolina. The defense believes the Supreme Court may see the process as too flawed to ignore. The prosecution stands firm, ready to defend the verdict. They argue Murdaugh was convicted on overwhelming evidence, not because of anything Hill said. The prosecution will highlight the damning cell phone video and financial motive. They'll point out Hill's conviction was for unrelated misconduct, not proven jury tampering. Judge Toll found no actual prejudice, and the prosecution will urge the Supreme Court to uphold that finding. Granting a new trial, they argue, would undermine the jury's work and the justice system's finality. The state's message: focus on the evidence, not the sideshow. The integrity of the verdict, they insist, remains intact. The Supreme Court's decision will echo far beyond Alex Murdaugh. At stake is public trust in the legal system and the sanctity of fair trials. If a new trial is granted, it signals that even the appearance of misconduct can cast doubt on a verdict. This would affirm due process, but force the community and victims' families to relive the trauma. Upholding the conviction would reinforce the jury's work, but might leave lingering doubts about the system's integrity. The case has already exposed serious flaws and sparked debate about protecting juries from outside influence. The Murdaugh saga has become a test of the justice system itself. As the justices weigh their decision, the nation watches. The ruling will define the line between a flawed process and a failed one. The legacy of the Murdaugh case will shape South Carolina's courts for years to come.